going on, my super fam? And Yelan, our lovely intelligence agent collaborating with Nick. Oops, I shouldn't be saying any further than this, otherwise Yelan's gonna be visiting me tonight. But either way guys, Yelan's banner is just right around the corner. I know that many of us have been waiting for quite some time because this is her first rerun banner and she has been back, I believe, since May last year. So there are still many of us out there who wants to pull for her, and we all know that there are many reasons why you want to pull for Yelan, but I know that the main reason is just that she's such a fantastic character that you just want to have her on your account, which is why we have today's video looking in depth into Yelan's updated build, so that not just for those of you who just pulled for Yelan in this upcoming banner, but for those who already have her before can have a look into her newest build and take your Yelan to the next level. And so with that guys, let's just dive into the video. First off, we'll just be blunt and look into the reason why Yelan was so strong before, or in other words, the reason why many of us just have Yelan on our account. And to put it simply guys, she is another signature who is a 5-star or 4-star character on paper, who is being used in literally most of the team when you're running in the Abyss. So having another, version of Xingqiu is definitely not a bad thing. However guys, Yelan shouldn't just be compared towards Xingqiu because this is not the only reason why she stands out. On top of all of her burst hydro application she provides to the team, the damage that she is able to dish out as a sub-DPS character for your team is insane. You don't really need to invest too much into your Yelan and she's already able to help you take out a lot of enemies before you know it, and that's where her main true values comes in. Not to mention guys, her passive talent too allows your team to have a lot of attack boost, especially if you're using a hyper carry on your team. The longer your hyper carries stay on field, the higher the damage number boost, and it goes all the way to 50%. Other than that, Yelan also scales with HP guys, which is really a good thing as well, because HP scaling character is generally very easy to build, because other than building a DPS character, I'm sure many of you still have a lot of spare HP artifacts in your account to use, so it's finally time to slot a lot of that onto your Yelan. Her passive talent 1 also benefits Yelan a lot from this, because it does give her quite a good number of HP boost depending on which kind of team you are running her. The more different the element of the team is, the higher the HP boost will go. Now generally speaking, you don't want to sacrifice this in terms of team synergy, but overall you should be getting at least around 12% of HP increase for Yelan in most of her best team comps. So overall, Yelan's skill and kits just focuses a lot in terms of increasing her damage level, which is really good, therefore making her not just a hydro applicator for your team, but a very much worthwhile sub-DPS character you want to have across many of your different team comps, which is the reason why she's always considered to be a top tier sub-DPS character. Now if we kind of compare Yelan to Xingqiu, the only downside she kind of have is that she doesn't have access to resistant to interruption for your team, as well as slightly healing for your character. However, this is just a very minor thing that she doesn't have access to, and it can be very easily fixed when it comes to team building. So that was Yelan before patch 3.0. Now what happened to her after Dendro reaction is released guys, and I have to say, alongside with so many other characters that was buffed after patch 3.0, Yelan is also buffed significantly, not just because of hydro elements character have access to a lot of different Dendro reactions, but also guys, the changes towards hydro resonance was significantly as well, and I would say one of the best changes we have in a long time alongside with Dendro reactions, with a change of healing bonus into a whooping 25% HP increase. It just doesn't just just benefits Yelan but also any character that scales off of HP, and also you can now pretty much utilize Hydro Resonance. Now we'll be touching more of this when it comes to Yelan's updated team build because there's just a lot of things to talk about, but just know that Yelan is a character that is significantly buffed after our general reaction release, which is just so beneficial for her. So when it comes to building Yelan, guys, assuming you've already know a lot of her skills and kits already, I won't be going in depth into that again, but do remember that Yelan, you don't need to build her normal attack skill, because unless you're having a C6 Yelan, you will never use her normal attack because it doesn't do any damage. The only time when you do use her normal attack is when you're having Yelan as a driver on the field, and you can just spam her normal attack so that she triggers her burst, as well as appreciating her very good looking normal attack as well. Now her E skill is pretty interesting because first of all it does deal quite a lot of damage, guys, so you do want to invest into her E skill, but also it has a very unique and cool attack animation as well for her transforming into quite an invisible Yelan. The good thing about this E skill as well is that it has very good overworld and adventure benefits because it helps you to travel very fast in a short amount of time. And then coming to Yelan's burst as well as her passive, I think that you're already aware of how it works, so we won't be touching on that anymore. However, when it comes to talent building, guys, Yelan is very straightforward. You focus everything onto her burst and then to her E skill. Don't neglect her E skill because it does deal a lot of damage. Normal attack, again, just leave there unless you have a C6 Yelan. And also another important note is that since she does scales off of HP, you want to level all the way up her to 90 because it gives her a sizable boost towards her base HP. Something very important regarding Yelan as well is her energy recharge level. Since everything that she does revolve around her burst, you always want to have her burst on field 100% of the time. So Yelan is very much an energy recharge hungry character. The good thing about it is that her E skill does give her 4 particles, so that supports quite a bit. However, that just still don't take out the fact that you still have to build a lot of energy recharge on her, and I would say that the minimum you want to have is around 160% ER on her if you want to have a comfortable time having her burst up. Of course, these numbers will vary depending on which weapon and what artifacts you're using on your Yelan, but overall the set minimum is usually around 160%. Onto Yelan's best weapon, guys. If you are a world or someone who is able to spend and get her BIS option, the Aqua Simulacra is literally her best, not just for her but for any of the bow character in the game as well, because any bow character can make use of this weapon passive, not to mention the whopping 88% crit damage. It's just too good to pass by on any of the bow character. Other than that, we have the elegy for the end, also a decent option for her for providing EM so that she works even better in different reaction teams, while also the elegy have pretty decent passive given to your team as well, so that's a pretty good support option for Yelan. Other than that, if you have a spare Polar Star hanging around on your account, that is also a really good weapon. I've been using the Polar Star on my Yelan and she does absolutely fantastic, especially you don't really have to worry too much about the crit rate because this weapon has it covered. Onto the 4-star option, hands down you want to use the Favonius Warbow because not only does this weapon solve Yelan's energy recharge level, but your whole team as well for providing a lot of particle for your team. Generally speaking, this weapon will also be on par with some of the 5-star option we have just discussed because again, the energy requirement is a must for Yelan. If you don't have Yelan burst up all the time, then having high damage number doesn't really solve your issue. Furthermore, the Favonius bow is a free-to-play option, so I'm sure every one of us have access to at least one copy of this. Other than that, the sack bow, if you have it, is also on par with the Favonius bow depending on which weapon you've already got it built, and the amount of refinement that you have. As for Yelan's best artifacts, we have hands down the 4-piece emblem Fate. I really can't think of a reason why you don't want to use this set onto Yelan, because first of all, it solves her energy recharge issues by giving her a 20% ER, not to mention her burst attack level scales off of ER, so everything just works in favor for Yelan when you're using this 4-piece set. Other than that guys, you can still use a mixed set of 2-piece, for example 2-piece emblem and 2-piece tenacity for more HP, or Heart of Death for more hydro damage bonus. The important things though comes down onto your artifact stats. Now for the sands, if you don't have your requirements of energy recharge met, then use an energy recharge sands. Other than that, a HP percentage is really good for her in terms of increasing her attack. For Goblet, you want to go with Hydro Cup, and then for Circlet, it's gonna be crit ratio. You want to kind of build a attack DPS Yelan because it really benefits off her for burst attack level. However guys, if you do have a triple HP percentage set with a very good substats, then you can use that also. Moving on, let's talk a bit about Yelan's Constellation real quick, because I know that many of your Yelan's lover out there is going to be trying to get her Constellations. Now for Yelan C1, generally speaking, you don't need this Constellation. However, if you do get it guys, it does give you a good quality of life increase. Personally confirmed by myself who owns a C1 Yelan, because first of all, it gives you an additional E skill for you to do, or in other words, your energy recharge level requirement is gonna be significantly reduced. You're going to be having a lot more comfortable time using and having her burst, not to mention another E skills, meaning that you will have additional damage, and considering how much damage her E skill is able to do, that's a pretty significant increase. However guys, that is not the only thing, because remember when I said her E skill is really good with overworld and adventuring, having another of her E skill available allows you to travel a lot more distance, thus making Yelan pretty much a must-have character when it comes to adventuring. Now I just have to have Yelan on my adventuring and exploration team now. For C2, what it does is that it basically adds an additional projectile to every other wave of her burst. Now while this is a significant damage increase on its own, the extra hydro application it provides expands the number of teams that she can be on, while improving the ones that she is already available in. In particular, this Constellation allows Yelan to reliably serve as the sole hydro applicator for Hu Tao's Vaporized team. C4 Yelan is a very interesting constellation because it is a few constellation in the game that actually helps increasing the HP of your whole team, thus being very valuable when it comes to characters scaling with HP, especially Hu Tao and Kokomi. Not to mention, we will be seeing a lot more HP scaling character in the future, making this constellation a pretty good investment. And then for her C6, obviously it turns her into, you know, a slightly a DPS character on the field, because her normal attack now does a lot of damage, something we at least expect from a C6 constellation because it is only for whales and we won't be having access to this kind of content for most of the players. So overall, Yelan's constellation definitely isn't a must-have in order for you to make her a good. She is a complete character at C0. However, she does have some beneficial when it comes to, you know, constellations such as C1 or C4, which increases the quality of life for your team quite a lot. And now we move on to the most important part of the video, which is the updated teams for Yelan. There is a lot of change, especially when it comes to Dendro reaction teams. Now I won't be touching much in terms of Yelan's past team anymore because the focus of this video is updated team build for Yelan. First off guys, we definitely gonna be having double hydro characters on Yelan teams, featuring characters such as Yelan alongside with Xingqiu. Generally speaking, you just want to have these two characters on your team. The other two characters can be flexible character. You can literally slot any kind of character and this team will do perfectly well, because the other two hydro character here is already the top tier sub DPS character, helping you do a ton of off-field damage. So your active character is just basically a driver for the team to trigger Yelan and Xingqiu's burst. So there's going to be a lot of different variation you can build with this team. I just literally can't list everything, and you can play this double hydro team however you like. For Yelan's dendro reaction teams, obviously you will be able to make use of all the hydro and dendro reaction kind of team. First of all, if you're running basically a hyper bloom team, then you can run alongside with Yelan, Nahida, another dendro character such as the dendro traveler, and then Kuki Shinobu can be on the last slot. This usually will have Nahida as the driver for your team, and you will be able to trigger a lot of hyper bloom together while dishing out a lot of off-field damage from Kuki Shinobu, dendro traveler, and our Yelan. Other than that, we can build a Bergian team, and now we can just simply switch in Toma into Kuki Shinobu slot because he does provide a pretty decent shield for the team as well as having a lot of pyro application, and once again Nahida can be the driver on the field and trigger a lot of Bergian reactions. Other than that guys, Yelan can still be in a bloom team, and whenever we're talking about a bloom team we think of Nilou's Bountiful Cross team. Now Yelan can be a little bit tough to slot on a Nilou bloom team here and there because if we're running a double hydro and double dendro reaction, then we will be seeing Nilou, Yelan, Nahida, and of course Yao Yao is going to be a must-have. However, Yao Yao's healing won't be able to keep up with how much damage we're taking from Bountiful Cores hitting our face, so overall Kokomi is going to be the best option as a healer on this team, but we can still also run a triple hydro character on this team and having Nahida as the sole dendro character, but since Nahida can be a driver on the field, this team will still works perfectly. As you can see, Yelan has a lot of different kind of team comps that you can build around, especially because she is a sub-DPS character that can literally fit into any team and she will do well because she as a sole character already have very good raw damage. So let me know down in the comment section guys what team you are running along with your Yelan, because I always love to have a look into different types of team comps that we can build in Genshin Impact. So that should be everything I have to say regarding Yelan's updated build. I hope that this video have been very helpful for you in terms of getting your Yelan to the next level. If you do have any question, leave it down in the comments and I will get to you there. And guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button to not miss out on my future Genshin Impact video. Plus I do a lot of giveaway to help you be able to get a chance to get the character that you have always wanted. I have a lot of other build video on the channel, so if this Yelan build video have been helpful to you, do check out my other build video as well, as I am sure it will be very helpful to you. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me till this part of the video, and with that I wish you a super day and I will catch you on my next video.